A zombie baby, the Liberty Bell tumbling down the streets of Philadelphia, crushing the undead, and a zombie NATO are three of the signature elements in Syfy's action-packed series, Z Nation. This fun ensemble drama follows a team of unlikely heroes as they attempt to bring a lone carrier of a potential cure for the zombie virus across the country to a lab in California. The show is off to a strong start, so much so that I am proud to announce that we have picked up season 2. We are very excited to have this panel here today, so please give a warm welcome for Michael Welch, who plays charming All-American Mack Thompson, executive producer and showrunner Karl Schaefer, and the only man to suffer 8 zombie bites and live to talk about it, Keith Allan, who plays Mack. Now here's a look at Z Nation. Episode 7 airs this coming Friday. Karl, in case any of us are not caught up on the season, you want to give a little recap of where we are in the story right now?
Well, we've killed a lot of zombies, and a lot of humans too. Our team has made it this far. So far, we're in Nebraska, I believe. And we've lost 2 key members of the team. Harold Perrineau, who played Hammond in the pilot, and just in Friday's episode, we lost Tom Everett Scott playing Garnett. And so the team finds itself in episode 7 at a crossroads where they're not really sure if they're going to make it any farther and who's going to, rise to the top as the new team leader. Murphy is hoping Warren, Cleta Smith, will step up and become the leader that he knows he can't be at this point in the journey. But it's really looking bad for our guys. We're kind of at a low point dramatically for them. And Michael's character, Mack, and Addie are going to go their separate ways and be separated from the group going forward. And we'll see if they can make it to California.
Yeah, don't ask for a bigger trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that we've been picked up for a second season, now we'll see.
I hope you guys make it.
I hope you make it too.
Michael and Keith, you've worked in this genre before, and what has the fan reaction been like for you?
I'm sorry.
Have you worked in this genre before? And talk about the fan reaction to the show. How's it been for you?
Well, fan reaction has been amazing. We just did a zombie conference in Atlanta yesterday, and they were digging the show. They love what we're doing with as far as like the genre bring back some of the humor into death and destruction and killing and brains and guts. So they're having a great time with it. And what's surprising to me is some of the really young viewers, like 8-year-old girls.
Little kid fans.
They were my favorite. They came up and they're like, "So, does Murphy have a crush on anyone?" They were adorable, but really enthusiastic, just loving the show and having a good time. And I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
We were a little worried because it was Walker Stalker, the
Yeah.
Walking Dead, 30,000 Walking Dead fans, and we didn't know how they'd treat us when we got there. But they were very kind to us and seemed to be believe that there was room for 2 zombie shows in the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who are true fans of the genre and really understand what this genre is and what it's been all about over the years, know that there of course there's room for both. I mean, zombies have been around for a long time. Walking Dead didn't invent zombies, so
right.
It's like, yeah, listen, I've been working in sci-fi programs for years. I mean, it's just how my career has worked out. I was in a Star Trek movie as a kid, and then, of course, the Twilight movies over the past several years, and then in what ended up being a pretty popular episode of Stargate SG-1. So I'm somewhat familiar with this fan base. Then I was in Day of the Dead, the Romero remake. And, yeah. So I've been working on some stuff. And
You've been eaten before?
No, I don't think.
You escaped?
I don't think I have. Yeah. And I'm always just like a dude in these things too.
You do a dude well,
Yeah.
All right, at this point, I think we want to open the floor up to questions. So,
what has been your absolute favorite scene from the series so far?
Me?
Everybody.
Well, there's the zombie baby, which I think everybody likes a lot and was because that was just, it was sort of a bet between me and the crew, because one aspect of the baby, we had the puppet baby, we had the real baby, and we also had a midget in a mask. And the whole crew's
Which
going,
was
"That's
creepy,
not-"
by the way, to have that little midget guy running around with that baby head on.
They were all going, "That's not gonna work." And I go, it's like 8 frames. He just jumps at the camera. But it really makes that scene. So that's a big favorite. But, you know, almost every episode we have like the Liberty Bell wiping people out, and you know, some of the emotional scenes, like the death of Garnett and things like that. So it's hard to pick a favorite.
I think my favorite was last week's episode. You know, I'm Your Messiah. I don't know if you guys got to see the episode, but it's where Murphy really gets to sort of bust out of who we think he is, and he gets to sort of take control of what's happening to him to a degree, and also, you know, it was a great scene for me to stretch my acting legs. You know, I really got to be, you know, Power Murphy in that scene. That was a blast for me.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my favorite stuff for Mack is coming up, so we'll see about that. But, you know, my favorite thing to watch so far was probably the scene with Doc in the
air shaft.
In the air shaft?
Yeah,
That's a great
because I mean,
sequence.
that's one of the things that I think Karl is trying to do here is to show you a little bit of a different side to zombies week in, week out. Show you something that you've never quite seen before. And I just thought that was very interesting for Doc to be face to face with this zombie and sort of have this intimate moment, try and find the humanity in this creature.
Yeah, and when have you ever seen a zombie get stoned before?
Exactly.
I think that was
Our zombies do something a little different every day.
They
It's part of our mission
Zombies
statement.
not a party.
Next question.
After Friday's episode, outside of Murphy, are any of the other cast members going to be safe, or is it going to be everyone's could go at any point?
Nobody's safe. Not even.
Wait a minute.
No, I think that, well, I don't think any of them are actually safe. You know, certainly we want to keep the audience on their toes, and it's kind of like life. It's never what you're worried about that gets you. So, no, nobody's safe. Certainly not in the long run. You know, they might make it to the end of the season, but even that's in question, so keep them on their toes.
Don't ask for a bigger trailer.
And I do feel like we've been very smart so far in terms of, you know, picking those deaths and deciding where they were going to come. Like each death that's happened has happened for a very specific reason, and it propels the show and the characters into new and interesting directions. So we don't just kill people off willy-nilly just because we can on the show. I don't feel like we do that. So yeah, I mean it's very strategic, and I think we've been smart about that so far, frankly.
Yeah, we want people to be really invested in the characters so that they feel the impact of those deaths. I mean, and to do something like, you know, we had Garnett and Warren's romance just start in the same episode where we, you know, killed Garnett off. So we made people feel like, well, they're going to be safe because that storyline always takes half a dozen episodes or so.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big other part of our mission statement is just to keep people on their toes and to do the unexpected.
Yeah, the fans were pretty upset that Garnett bit it. Some of them were, I saw some of the tweets, they were crying and they were invested in him. And just as they're on board with him. So.
Another question?
Hi, Gavin from Spyler TV. You were talking about scenes that you can't really take very seriously, like stone zombies, you know, things that make you laugh so badly. But as actors, is it hard to do the serious stuff along with the, you know, comedic stuff that kind of in every episode?
For me, not at all. I love that. I can't wait for that stuff. I mean, Murphy's got some great one-liners. He's got such a snarky attitude, so I get to, you know, have fun. But, you know, it's, to me, the meat of the show is those dramatic scenes when we get to really kind of get down to the poignancy of the relationships and the survival and what's really happening on a whole different level, on the deeper level. I love that stuff. I think it's the most powerful stuff in the show.
Well, yeah, and for me, I mean, Mack doesn't exactly bring the comedy to the show. I mean, he's very much like he's kind of a rock in the show in the sense that you know who he is. You sort of know what you're going to get from Mack week in, week out. And really, you know, it's my job to just react as realistically as possible to whatever's happening. So, for instance, in the zombie tornado episode, when the zombie flies through the window, it's all about, all right, what's the mission? What's the next task? Murphy, take care of that. I'm gonna, you know, board up the windows here. Mack has survived the apocalypse with his strength and his pragmatism. So he's just gonna and really his moments of real humanity kind of come with Addie in those small intimate moments. I mean, actually, one of my other favorite scenes, if I may, is the scene when Mack and Addie go out and then they, you know, kill the cop zombie, if you remember that, where they're sort of looking for a satellite dish or something. And because to me, that very much felt like that's Mack's version of having a nice picnic with his, you know what I mean? Like, that's sort of like, hey, you know, but that's the reality of the world now.
Oh, you're such a romantic.
I know, right? So yeah, it's my job to just react realistically to whatever's happening.
Right. Thank you.
Sure, yeah.
Question?
Okay, to feed off that question a little bit, obviously the zombie apocalypse is a little bit tense. How important is to keep that comedy, you know, to break up the tension?
Well, I mean, my experience is life is sometimes the most dangerous, saddest things are right up against some of the funniest things, and you know, and that's sort of the way life is. And I mean, another kind of operating theory that we came up with in the writers' room was, you know, we're 3 years into the apocalypse. Anybody that survived now is genetically predisposed as a survivor. It's more than luck if you're still alive at this point. And that having a sense of humor in such dark circumstances is part of the ingredients of being a survivor. That if you took the apocalypse totally seriously and didn't have some sort of relief, you'd just curl up in a ball and die. So all of our characters have a sense of the absurd and a sense of the situation they're in, and have learned to find humor where they can and what's going on.
I think for my money also, it is that nice balance of the horror, the drama, and the humor that I think makes the show a success for what it is. I mean, to me, that's old drive-in movie stuff. When we used to go to the drive-in movies, to go to a horror movie, to get scared and laugh at the same time, I think that's golden stuff.
Yeah, I mean, tonally, I think that's the kicker to the show is the humor. I can't remember the last time fun was an element in zombie shows.
Yeah, we're trying to put the fun back in zombies.
I think that's what makes it work.
Speaking of the comedy, you've already seen the zombies and the tornadoes and the baby and then the Amish. Can we expect to see any more like that throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, we try and have some big set piece, like wow moment in every episode. So, and we come up with some absurd way to kill a zombie or threaten our characters or something they see. And yeah, we'll be keeping that up, definitely.
Various aspects of the show seem to point to a very much anti-Walking Dead aspect. Do you constantly look at like episodes of Walking Dead and say, well, this is what they did, and we're going to do the exact opposite, or is it just kind of just a natural reaction?
It was pretty much a natural reaction. I mean, I think, you know, when I was first approached by Syfy to do this, and the Asylum guys, you know, my first thing was like, well, there's already a great zombie show on, you know, and it was like, well, we want to do, you know, we want to go where they don't. And I think, you know, The Walking Dead is an excellent, very serious drama that takes itself very seriously and has a super narrow definition of what a zombie is and how they behave, that I think is sort of making it tougher and tougher for them to keep the tension up with the zombies. And, you know, if you're getting killed in The Walking Dead at this point by a zombie, you're kind of a foolish person. They're not hard to get away from. They're you know, so without looking at their episodes, we did want to go where they didn't. We wanted to have humor. We wanted to have, our zombies are evolving. Every week you're going to see zombies do something different that you didn't expect them to be able to do. we wanted to, some of the important things were you know, as the season goes on and you're watching Murphy's transformation and our characters get more involved with zombies, that you're seeing that they have a level of consciousness and that there's still some sort of soul there. And the whole idea of giving mercy to a zombie because there's somebody still in there, you know, to a certain extent. That they aren't just like, you know, wild animals or bad weather that you're facing against, but there's a being there of some sort. I think separates us from The Walking Dead. And the fact that just our whole thing about zombie rules and stuff is it cool? Is it funny? Is it exciting? Yeah, we do that. You know, we're the show that says, yeah, we'll tornado zombies, sure. You know, fire zombies, sure. Zombie bears, zombie gophers, whatever. If it works in the story, we'll go there.
So you're kind of saying our zombies could kick their zombies' asses. Right?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And you know, if you think about like who would you want to go through the apocalypse with, I think our guys are way more fun. You know, and they have a sense of mission. We're the ones you want to party with. And they have, you know, I mean, that's another big difference in our shows is we have a sense of mission, we have a sense of hope. Our guys aren't just waiting to die or just struggling to survive. They've got something to get up and do that's driving them forward.
We have time for one final question.
Okay.
Well,
I'd like to know. Hi, I'm Lisa from Nice Girls TV. What has been your favorite zombie kill so far?
Wow, favorite zombie kill.
well, I mean, to me, in the Doc Airshaft episode, once again, there was a linebacker. This guy was a professional linebacker in the NFL. He was kind of the big monster boss zombie that even the 22 pistol didn't quite penetrate his skull. And then he lifted me up by the throat and sort of spun me around. That was a lot of fun, and that was my idea, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to kill that guy, but just I like that one because we had to kind of work as a team to figure out how to kill that guy. He was just a bad dude, you know.
I think for me, the one we just saw, the Wilwell zombie, even though we didn't get to see them die, we got to see the aftermath, and that's disgusting. And that was a real girl in that. They shoved that girl in the Wilwell, that truck. She was in there for a good, like, 45 minutes. Yeah, but she was great. What a trooper. I'll tell you, man.
All of our zombies.
You cannot spell Z Nation without the Z's. Our zombies are awesome. These people are so committed. They're having a great time. We put them through the ringer. They're laying in mud and water and cow shit, and you know, they're having the time of their lives.
They don't want to be zombies. They need to be zombies.
Tell the story about the guy that was going home in his makeup.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, a couple things. Our zombie extras in Spokane are fantastic. We had an open call for the zombies, and we thought like 50, 60 people would show up. We had 800 people show up to be zombies. And they get paid nothing, and they're in this uncomfortable makeup. And we're doing, like one scene we did where the water zombies, where they all jump up out of the water all together. Those guys were laying face down in this horrific water for hours and hours. And I could go, you guys all right? Can we get you anything? No, man, this is on my bucket list. I'm having the best time. and literally about a quarter of our zombie extras will go home in their makeup. They won't take it off. They want to go home and show their families. And one night we were shooting out in a far distant location, and I'm like the last guy leaving. And I'm driving down this dark country road, and there's one of our zombies hitchhiking. And so I pull over and I go, you want to ride? And he goes, no, man, I'm waiting for somebody to come pick me up.
Someone other than you.
Yeah, exactly. You know me. It's like, so they're it's part of the whole phenomenon of zombies, and it really does tap into something that's going on in our collective unconscious right now. I mean, you know, The Walking Dead's a great show, but 18 million people, really? It's the zombies that do it. There's something about that means something to people, and our zombie extras are so, they don't care if we set them on fire, if we throw them off a building, if they have to lay face down in, you know, hard chemicals. They just don't care. They want to be there. And I've even had some of them tell us, like, after some of the big fight scenes that we do, I've had like 3 of them come up to me and go, yeah, I went totally blank at a certain point and didn't know what I was doing for like 2 minutes there, you know? And it's,
Oh yeah, my sister came up, and she's a lawyer, and she wanted to be a zombie on the show for a day. And I got cut early, but she was there till late. And so she had to like chase someone down. And I'm asking her, how'd you do? And she goes, great, I tackled him to the floor and ate his face. And I'm like, did they tell you to tackle him to the floor? No, but I just did it. I was great.
On that note, I think that's a perfect way to end the panel.